How's it going, everybody? Mr. Holton here. Hope you guys are doing well. We're back again streaming. It's been a while, hasn't it? I haven't been streaming since, well, December, I think. Well, I did try a stream on the other channel the other day, but we're going to let that be for now because it's just way too much, effort to move over all the people who usually watch these streams over there for now. So we're just going to do it normally on the main channel here for now, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, let's just go from where we were before, just to not make people confused. Vadim, welcome, man. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome. Today, I just wanted to chat with you guys, see how you guys are doing, because it's been a while. I haven't really updated you guys with any update videos on either, well, Mass Effect, Exodus, The Expanse, other RPGs, mainly because there really hasn't been much news. So we're just gonna basically sit around and just talk, I feel. I want to see what you guys are up to. What's happening? But we're gonna give it a minute or so because most of you aren't online, I feel. Generally speaking, I tend to start this at 6 p.m. But now I'm starting a little bit earlier, trying to get a better time slot going here. Smas, how you doing? Evening, Commander. Evening to you. There has actually been a few really cool things that have happened the past few days, or past week, but it's not RPG related specifically. There's a bunch of things that I kind of want to take a look at, and there's a lot of rumors and stuff going on about this upcoming year, so we'll have to see what happens. But there's a few things that I'm pretty interested in, that had me a little bit hyped, at least. Maybe not for something like Mass Effect. Hopefully it means something good for Mass Effect, but we'll have to see. Taco, welcome, man. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, my fellow Swede. Sultanosi, welcome. How you doing? We need to discuss Blood of Dawnwalker. We can discuss Blood of Dawnwalker. That's one of the games that I'm excited for this year because that is coming out this year. And in case you're like confused, what the hell is Blood of Dawnwalker? It's this game right here. And for some reason, I'm invisible. There we go. There I am. This is Blood of Dawnwalker. It's being made by a team that is led by some of the Witcher team that made the Witcher game. So this one looks really cool, really interesting. They're listening to a lot of community feedback, which I really like because it seems like they're really fast with like implementing a lot of the stuff that the community like gives them feedback about. So yeah, that's one I'm very much looking forward to. Could Mass Effect will continue be the possible title for the next Mass Effect game? No. I mean, no. It will have to be something else because Mass Effect will continue. Doesn't it doesn't really roll off the tongue. I based the idea on the opening text on the first ME game. Probably a miss on my end, but would like to hear what you think. No. I think they're probably going to go. They're probably not going to go with a Mass Effect 5 or 4 or something like that. I think they're just going to go, with a title sort of like Mass Effect, not Andromeda, but something else. Insert title here. You're all good. Well, I'm good as well. I'm taking a small break from keeping, from exploring a bunch of games. I have a bunch of games that I want to explore and that I want to do reviews on this year that I've planned out, but now I'm just taking a breather because it's actually a lot of work. Megan Fox wants me. That's a hilarious nickname. Welcome back. Thank you so much. Or welcome to the Citadel. How you doing, Arvos? How you doing? Thank you for asking. I'm good. That was just a dev message to us. You mean Mass Effect will continue? Yeah, that was just a dev. That was just a, just so you guys know, the game, there will be another game. Silencer, welcome, man. I'm just waiting for info on Fable. On Wednesday. Right, it's the Xbox developer showcase. So that's gonna be, isn't that Thursday though? Let me check. Xbox. It's January 22nd, so it's gonna be on Thursday. That would be Thursday then. And I could stream that for sure if you guys want to check that out. We could have some fun with that. But the question is, like, when is it actually live? Central Time, 12 p.m. CT. That's 7. Okay, 7 p.m. So in a couple of hours, that would be, you know, on Thursday. Really cool. Nice. We're going to do that. Oh, guys, did you hear about the Rockstar thing? Apparently there was like an explosion on the Rockstar's headquarters. You know, the studio behind GTA. That's pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. It's a little bit scary. I'm not really sure what's going on there. I haven't really heard anything else, but damn. Hello, why not on the new channel? Honestly, it's just I'm thinking, you know, I'm still strategizing on how to do this thing, but essentially I'm thinking of doing this where I do most of the live streams right now here, and then I move over the VODs, like the, you know, the post streams over to the other channel, so that that becomes like a, what do you call it? A repertoire, a collection of live streams and da 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 da. You know, I'm not going to go full on, you know, just focusing on that channel for now. That's just too much effort for too little payoff. So I'm going to start doing that as the year goes on, you know, try to upload more and more stuff there. So we can get that going, because I really do want to separate the type of content I do. But maybe, you know, we'll have to see. Depends on what you guys think. Yo, Shy Guy, what's up? It's been a while since I caught up on your channel. Finally got the chance to say hello after being gone for a while. Yeah, I've just, you know, been making other videos. Generally, just playing a bunch of other games. After the whole, you know, Exodus, Expanse, the Game Awards thing, Mass Effect, like I just needed to take kind of a break. So yeah, I've been playing a bunch of other games, which I'm trying to explore on the channel right now. So, you know, RPGs and MMOs, or MMORPGs, I should say. I'm trying to expand it because I don't want to just, you know, keep talking about one game over and over again. As we saw with Baldur's Gate, it worked, and other games as well. So, hey, that's what we're going to do. Good evening, Rodo. How you doing? People probably mad that GTA 6 is taking too long. Nah, overcooked octopus feet. God damn, these nicknames. Just a boiler that exploded, a plumbing issue. Yeah, apparently that was the problem. It wasn't, you know, that seems to have been a thing. But, you know, I was like, oh, you never know. I hope the break helped. It definitely did. It also made me realize, like, that I want to just cover more games in depth. And it's really fun. I don't know if probably most of you have not seen my past 2 videos. The Is It Worth It? They're kind of like retrospective reviews, or like retrospective buyer's guides. They're not like 30 to 40 minute long like retrospective videos. They're just supposed to be like a buyer's guide for a lot of beginners. And they're so much fun to make. And I just want to keep doing those. Not just those, but I want to mix them in with the regular content. So, you know, with the news updates and with any Mass Effect theories and Exodus theories maybe, and the Expanse and stuff like that. I still want to like weave in these reviews that I enjoy making. So, because like they're still RPGs. So they're still in that box. Have you tried some of the Warhammer games? No, not yet. Well, I played Space Marine 2. But I haven't tried the Owlcat games yet. He's back like a bad case of the flu. How dare you? All joking aside, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Real Commander Carnage. It's good to see you back live streaming, though. Thanks, Scornlock. I appreciate it. I just wanted to, I don't know, catch up, chat a little bit. That's what I feel like these streams really should be for. You know, a part of me wants to play like Mass Effect or Mass Effect Andromeda, and just, you know, I want to really soldier on with that game, and I'm probably gonna because I want to make like a retrospective thing with that too. But yeah, I feel like it's more fun to just sit around and talk, generally speaking, because having a dialogue is important. I've played a bit of Veilguard. Oh, damn, Elementus. You like the combat, to be honest? I mean, the combat is like the least problematic thing I feel with Veilguard. I think most people agreed back in the day when that came out, when there was a huge buzz about it, or when people were talking about it, is that the combat is good. I just felt personally that it became very repetitive because I'm like one of those people that um, I like it when there is enough progression to last throughout the game. So if you hit like a max level, or if you hit like the max amount of abilities you will unlock in the game in like the midpoint, that's kind of when I start losing interest in the gameplay, because I want to see continually evolving gameplay throughout. Like I want to see new things. I want to see the game constantly surprise me. And around like 50 or 60%, like I was like, oh, okay, this is getting pretty boring. And I started as a warrior, instantly hated it, switched to mage, which I thought was way more fun. So, but then again, that's just personal opinion. Um, you often jump back to it here and there. Damn, Sam. Well, I can't blame you. The combat is, again, completely fine. You'd like Rogue Trader? I bet I would. I probably should. Like, now that I'm, like, I have a bunch of MMORPGs that I'm currently like in the process of making. I'm in the process of like going back to Mass Effect Andromeda, Cyberpunk 2077, of course. There's just a bunch of No Man's Sky, because I want to do like a retrospective thing for that too. And then a bunch of MMORPGs, Star Wars: The Old Republic, maybe Knights of the Old Republic. Like, I have an entire list. I shit you not, guys. This is the first time. This is the first year I've actually made a schedule of videos that I want to make. And so I'm already like realizing the amount of things I want to do. It's just going to be, oh, okay, shit. And there's new games coming out, so I want to cover those too. So it's going to be like, oh, shit. It's almost way too much, but it's fun having like a real schedule, so I kind of know what I'm going to do. But Rogue Trader is definitely on that list, but I'm not sure when I'm supposed to make that video. Can we even really call Andromeda as an RPG? Well, I get what you say, but it is technically an action RPG. So, and these videos tend to do very well for games that have had like problematic launches and things like that, like Cyberpunk. So, and it worked for Andromeda back in the day too. So I'm like, I'm probably just going to make another one, try to come with a different spin on it, and try to play as much as I possibly can, because that's one thing that I feel like I really should give these games like a true fair chance, and like playing them through completely to completion, and then nitpick on it if I find something, and then give a recommendation on like, is it worth playing, should you buy it, yada yada yada. And then sometimes I change my mind, which is very interesting. Remaster on Andromeda would slap, I think. Yeah, I think so too. I'm pretty sure. Like at this point, I kind of know what works and what does not work. So that's cool. So that's one of those that will work. Rogue Trader and the Pathfinder writing is amazing. Owlcat is goated for sure. Absolutely. But I just need to dive deeper into more of their games, because I haven't yet. So many games to catch up. Ghost of Yotei still waiting for me to play it, and trying not to play World of Warcraft, even though the nostalgic pull is there. Yeah, I played World of Warcraft last year. Had pretty fun, but then I felt like the whole deal with the Void Lord plotline, I kind of dropped interest for some reason, because it wasn't what I had expected. I don't remember if you guys remember me complaining about Dimensius, which was like a boss that came out last year, and I was like, oh, this is so boring. He was cool. He was a big boss, but it's like, this was not what I wanted. Whatever. Star Wars Outlaws had quite a problematic release. I jumped into it yesterday, and it's honestly not that bad. Very immersive atmosphere. Sam, thanks for the suggestion. Star Wars Outlaws. Look at this. Look at me, guys. I have fucking pen and paper. Let's go. Because I keep forgetting, like, taking up suggestions from you guys, because you can actually come up with some pretty genius suggestions that I just keep forgetting about. I don't know if I have, like, early onset Alzheimer's. I probably do. Or dementia. But let's see. Killmonger, welcome, man. How you doing? Star Wars Outlaws. Give me some more suggestions, guys. Like games that, like Cyberpunk 2077, Dragon's Dogma 2, No Man's Sky, games that had problematic releases that may or may not have been patched or updated or worked on since release. Those types of games, those are the ones that I really want to dive into. Those plus, of course, MMORPGs, but I already have like Elder Scrolls Online I'm gonna do, and a bunch of other ones. So hey, can't wait for the Witcher DLC. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you guys know this, but apparently there is a Witcher DLC coming, Witcher 3 DLC. We don't know for sure, but there is talks that there is possibly Witcher 3 DLC, which will tie Witcher 3 to Witcher 4. So possibly we're going to play a Ciri, which, you know, yes, absolutely, dude, I would play the shit out of that DLC. So hopefully that's true, because I really want to see what's going on there, you know, tying that all together. But a part of me really doubts that's going to happen, because that would mean they would have to put people on making a DLC when they can just make the game, or like just work on the fourth game. But then again, you know, if they have the money and the resources for it, then sure. People hate to admit it, but Fallout 76, a real Commander Carnage, thank you. Right, I should do another one of those. Fallout. I didn't actually hate it when I played it for the first time. It's actually pretty fun, but it's hard to get into. Especially because I'm not the biggest Fallout guy. Like, I like Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4, but I'm not this die-hard fan of it. I love the atmosphere, generally speaking. I love some of the faction storylines, and I love the just emergent gameplay or whatever. And just, you know, getting lost in the wasteland and just exploring post-apocalyptic 50s America, sort of. I love that idea. But it's also kind of, you know, it's kind of niche for me, like sort of out there. Almost 100% Witcher 3 at the end of last year, first playthrough. Have to finish B&W sometime. B&W? Blood and Wine, right, yeah, of course. Nice. Good on you, Vadim. Will you talk about the Mass Effect theories this stream? I mean, if you've got any questions, we could go into it for sure. There's really nothing keeping us back here, you know, if you are wondering about something, or if I have like a theory. Well, the last theory that I wanted to get into, that was the whole Leviathan thing, but I haven't made that video yet. I'm kind of saving it up, you know, sort of like ammo. I want to have some ammunition. Pen and Paper, Taco Cat with the 36 months. Thank you so much for the support all this time, my man. Would playing some games with us fans in stream or vid be a good idea? I don't know, man. The problem that I'm kind of scared of playing with other people, because you don't control other people. So if I play with someone and they accidentally say a very bad word, yeah, just, you know, stuff like that kind of freaks me out. So that's why I don't do that stuff, because while I trust people, generally speaking, to behave, my experience playing with other people, however, have been that sometimes it's like, yikes, you know. They say something and you're like, oh my God. I can't, what am I supposed to do when they do? Um, New X, how you doing, man? Welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you. Meta question: how do you think Saudi Arabia and the Kushner family potentially buying the rights to Mass Effect might affect it and its fans? Well, technically, you might be right, but technically, they're not really buying the rights to Mass Effect, and it's Saudi Arabia mostly. So the latest news I found out wasn't that it was Jared Kushner that much. Like, that's a small percentage. It's mostly Saudi Arabia. So if you do have a huge problem about it, you should mainly have a problem with it being Saudi Arabia that now owns EA. Not so much that other part, because it's not, I don't think that's too much of a deal. I think everything that's going to affect these games are probably going to be from the influence of Saudi Arabia. And well, I don't know. I'm kind of hands off on the situation, because it's like, yeah, at this point, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Like, that's the thing, I got Arabian friends. I got, there's no problem there. But like, I could see culturally how it might crash, in a way, because it's not, aligned, if you think about it like that, with Western values, especially like BioWare, how those games have technically been very Western value-ish. And so, yeah, it's just two ideas that don't really match. I don't know. Thanks for an honest answer. Thank you to Taco Cat. Thank you, man. Appreciate the support. Vadim with the 36 months. You too. And Sven Commander. Jesus Christ, you guys are crazy. Appreciate it. Much love. I got one question. Why didn't the Reapers add like Reaper artifacts into the Citadel or mass relays to indoctrinate anyone who uses them, so the harvesting would go without any trouble? That's actually a good question. I just think that's a plot hole, really. Technically, like, if you gave me like a few days, I could probably come up with a good answer. Like, oh, this is why, like in universe. But really, it's just a plot hole, really. Understandable, people on the internet just can't be trusted. It's not so much that I don't trust people. Well, I don't trust people on the internet, but I do trust my community for the most part. But I can't trust people's behavior or reactions or whatever they say. It's the same thing, like, whenever I hang out with people, and you know how it is. Like, you can't really. If I could, I would, if I noticed somebody say something really, zip it, if I was like a god, I would. But I'm not, so I'm just gonna, no, I'm not gonna risk it, no. Lame, how you doing, man? And welcome to the Ensven squad. Appreciate the support. Enjoy the emojis. You look well for dead Holton. Oh yeah, I'm super dead, of course. Who said I was dead? Yeah, you can't anticipate who might tank your channel with and rep, even though you feel you can trust them as far as playing with community members. I think that's just overall everything. That's kind of why I stick to my little sphere of influence, because you never know, It's not that somebody's trying to be an asshole or somebody's trying to be mean or they're trying to sabotage, but suddenly they just say shit because it's their nature, or they just happen to do it and they don't really think. Lamine with the Prime, thank you for the 2 months, man. Appreciate it so much. Welcome back and Happy New Year. A bit late, don't you worry about it. Appreciate you coming over here and hanging out. Thank you, man. Reldy with the 34 months. Jesus, there's a lot of 34 monthsers here. It's very cool, very nice. Thank you, Reldy. Appreciate the support. They also had the Keepers for answering the signal, which had been working for them up until the last cycle. Very true. Yes. How can the Odin's card, the prob with Witcher here, how can they explain why Ciri has gone through the trial of the grasses? I'm guessing they're gonna go with her powers. She's already relatively rugged and well trained. I mean, through Geralt and being able to survive on her own. Like, she's not a regular woman, let's just say, because that is technically the reason why. Apparently, I haven't read the books, I don't really know, but this is what people have said, that technically why women usually, or why they can't go through their trial of the grasses, is because their bodies just break down because it's such a tough process. And so I'm guessing they're gonna essentially just, well, Ciri is a super athlete compared to basically other women, and she already has powers and super fighting. It's like she's the most capable woman uh, in the entire Witcher universe, essentially. So, I mean, I think that's how they're just gonna say it. Yeah, she has elder blood. Like, they can come up with basically any reason there that's just like, yeah, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that's, yeah, sure, yeah, sure. But, people who are very stuck to canon, I find, are probably going to find a hard time accepting it, as is usually the case. But I think it could be pretty cool. What are we talking about? We're talking about basically everything when it comes to gaming and generally anything. We've talked a little bit about Witcher, a little bit about Mass Effect, just talking to you guys, seeing what you're up to, and yada yada. I Arrow TV, hey man, how's your content creator journey been going? You mean lately or overall? What do you think a Kojima directed Mass Effect game would be like? We would at least have one scene of Liara bare feet, and Tally. All the women are gonna have bare feet at some point. There's most definitely gonna be a focus on getting a shot of Shepard, or the protagonist, rising up from somewhere and, staring into the camera real cool and putting up a cigarette and smoking and puffing. And then they have like the whole squad. Like, we have Rex, we have Grunt, we have, Miranda, everybody like just standing up like a squad next to Shepard. And yeah, at least one of those. It kept you waiting, huh? Yeah. Something goofy like that, because that is Kojima's card or calling card. He's just like, yeah, I gotta have at least one of those shots, just for some reason. Peak, yeah, that would be pretty peak. That would be pretty badass. But we can't forget about the bandana. He's gotta, go like, kept you waiting, huh? Essentially. Lately and overall, it's up and down, because it's like, it was December and November and December were pretty dry months. Like, I was invited to the Game Awards, which was great. And as much as I appreciate the people who got me there, like, as people, they were awesome, really cool. Even made a bunch of friends with, a bunch of them. But as much as that was cool, it was one of those things where I was a bit disappointed, because I wanted something, I guess, more out of the whole thing, because I talked to the Exodus devs for like half an hour. But at that point, they had already been like super spent by talking with like other magazines, like GameSpot and stuff like that, I think. Maybe not GameSpot, I don't know, but like it's several other big magazines. And when me and Dantix, that is, got to speak to them, it was like super late, and they were fucking tired and exhausted. And we were like, oh, okay. So, wasn't too much of what I had expected. So, the past month or so, and with like James Olin stepping down as a leader, there's just, oh my God. So I've been like, okay, I'm taking a break. And so, interestingly, that has led to me being able to do other stuff while I was like resting. and that is play a bunch of MMORPGs, like explore my roots again, like Guild Wars 2. Also, Dragon's Dogma 2, I cleared that game again and recorded and made a video. And I've essentially just been planning, and I guess I really needed this to like restart the process and be like, okay, what do I actually want to do? Because Mass Effect is dry as fuck. I can't just keep talking about Mass Effect if there's nothing to talk about. I can't keep talking about Exodus when there's barely anything to talk about, because first of all, nobody has an emotional connection to Exodus yet, because, you know, that is why I don't really make many videos right now about Exodus, because we don't, like, the trailer was cool, but it wasn't what people wanted to see. We wanted more gameplay and stuff like that, and I think we're going to get that this year, but it's like, okay, so what can we talk about? We can't talk about The Expanse either too much, because they have barely showed us anything either, and I love the guys, but like, I can't just make shit out of nothing, and I don't think it's interesting for me to sit here and yap about a game that we don't have that much information about. So like, I'm just trying to, you know, find other stuff to do, and this has been really interesting, really fun to do other stuff. Griff Army, welcome, man. How you doing? Did you get Game Award Aftermath blechs? No, I wouldn't call it blechs. You know, I was pretty happy, you know. It's a memory that I will probably cherish if I don't get invited again, that is, because, you know, it's one of those things you don't realize that, oh shit, I'm at the Game Awards. Yeah, no, it was a really cool experience. It's completely different when you're sitting there. So no, I didn't have any blechs, but it's like, man, it was mainly about that Exodus thing, really, that I went there. Osiris Reborn, right? Yeah, I mean, Osiris Reborn is really cool. I look forward to it. Owlcat sent me a few things. They sent me this, which was really cool, a mouse mat that I haven't gotten to use yet, and this scarf, and a thing over there as well. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Exodus. I'm actually looking forward to Mass Effect, but it's like, it's been pretty dry. It's been pretty dry. Yeah, we're starving right now, for sure, Georgie girl. Yeah, there's, and again, I don't want to just make shit up. So it's like, what do? I talk about other stuff. I talk about other games. Plus, yeah, I did get to talk to Drew Karpyshyn, the legend who brought into being Darth Revan and Shepard. The guy is a fucking genius. I can tell you that much. His love for writing is unlike anything I've seen before when I've talked to other people that are in like the writing business. Drew Karpyshyn, like, there is a reason why he is so adored and why the games generally, in my opinion, have been so good. Like the, you know, Knights of the Old Republic, Mass Effect, and so on. Drew is such a big key part of that, and it just came through so, you know, so evidently when I was talking to him. He's such a friendly, cool guy. He's just, you know, whenever you ask him a question, he just goes on these long-ass rambles. He's so passionate about the universes that he talks about, and especially now with Exodus, like, he's so passionate, and he just goes on and on and on. It's like, you know, Chad over there has to, like, stop him and be like, okay, you know, moving on. So cool, because then you feel like, oh, okay, he's really passionate about this shit. Oh, yeah. You talked to Drew? Yes, I did. Got to shake his hand, actually. I was going to go in for the hug, but, you know, don't want to be too friendly. Nice, nothing good, like a good restart. Do you know of Paragon 7? Yeah, I've actually watched a couple of her videos. Not right now, but a couple of months ago. Appreciated our TV, by the way. Nice. I need to sneeze. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. His 3 Master books are good. Oh yeah, basically everything that I know of Drew has been great. Lame. That's Lamine, right? Would you rather have me upgrade my Patreon or be a veteran here as well, like my monthly Prime with Lamine is free on Twitch? Sorry for the repeat, but I really wonder what is better to support. You decide, my man. You decide. I think Patreon is obviously, in a way, better because I don't upload any exclusive stuff here on YouTube. So Patreon is obviously, I think, just generally better because you do get other content there where, where I'm still uploading content. And while it's been a little bit, because it's been pretty dry past the past months, I do have things that I'm gonna do. I'm, for example, gonna buy one of these mics that you can have here. Did you guys see that video where I talked, about Exodus and the hotel chair? I had this little mic. One of those I'm gonna buy because that wasn't mine. That was my brother, so I just borrowed it. So I'm gonna buy one of those, and I'm gonna start recording stuff, hopefully, at other events that I can upload to Patreon. So you're gonna get that stuff that is exclusive, that is only gonna be on Patreon, and it doesn't matter, what level you support is like $5 and above. Like I have the same rewards. I haven't come up with anything new for anybody that's like over $5. So you get that. You get everything. Mr. Holthen, who do you think should be the new squad mates for part 5? Interesting new characters, pretty much. Just hopefully a couple of, I'm pretty sure that we're going to get a couple of veterans, like either Rex, Grunt, of course, Liara. So those, but interesting new characters that I can fall in love with. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. White Wolf, man, how you doing, man? Welcome. And good morning. Go Patreon, people. Go Patreon. Go Patreon. Always go Patreon, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the shout out, Taco. Do you think Ryan Hurst will make a good Kratos? Absolutely fucking lootly, I do. So in case, if we have any God of War fans here, they actually revealed the casting for who's going to play our lovely bearded berserker. And that is, of course, Ryan Hurst. And I know, question mark, who the fuck is Ryan Hurst? He's literally the guy who played Thor in the games. So he's pretty much, well, aside from Odin, he's like the main enemy aside from Odin, the main, opposition faction, so to speak. And he's playing Kratos. I thought that news was so fucking crazy. I was like, what? I'm not against it because, look at that scowl. He got it going, man. But it's like, really? That was what? Thor? Literally Thor that punches Kratos in the face. Dude, that is cool. That is cool. So I like it. I like it. He has the kind of the voice, he has the length, he's tall. He could beef up pretty well. Yeah, I see it. OP from Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that show because I haven't seen Sons of Anarchy yet. But I like Ryan Hurst, man. Thor in God of War Ragnarok is probably my favorite character in the Scandinavian God of War games. So God of War 2018 and Ragnarok, I think Thor is the most interesting character of the bunch because I feel for him. He's a brutal god that slaughtered thousands, possibly giants and whatever, and was this just weapon of Odin. But he's in pain. He's a drunk. His family, wants him to be free of Odin. And, I just find him so sympathetic. I like him a lot. I wish it doesn't end like it does, but it does. So, hey, so this made me go, yeah. Oh, yeah, let's go. Tally is the GOAT? Absolutely. Tally will always be the GOAT. Thanks for the 50 Swedish krones. Appreciate it, Taco Man. Georgie Girl, I'd love if 1 or 2 Exodus or Expanse devs could talk to you on one-on-one on your channel. That way you're not so rushed like at the Game Awards. I would like that too. So hey, anybody from Exodus, guys, fuck's sake, just tell me and we'll stream or we'll record and I'll do an interview with you. But nobody's asked me so far, either from Exodus or from the Expanse team. Why not? But nobody's asked me. I'm probably too small still. Like I'm below 100K and I don't always top out on the view meters on all my videos. So they're probably looking at other creators for that. But I mean, sure, yeah, absolutely. I would love to have like a developer interview. Just let them, waterboard us with information. Absolutely. They need the marketing too. I think so too. I agree. Not specifically for my sake, but I feel like there needs to be. I actually asked this when I was talking specifically. I don't know how it works with Owlcat, but I know for example that I did ask the Exodus team, like, how do you look at transparency and commuting with the fan, communicating with the fans, sort of like what Larian does, right? And what they could essentially tell me was that they are kind of limited in what they can say, and they appreciated the question, but it was like we can't really, they don't have that control. So I assumed that they meant like, okay, they can't really do a lot of those things probably because of shareholders. I'm not really sure. Uh, Maybe they don't want to overpromise too many things while the game is still getting worked on. So maybe that's it, because that has been a problem previously, with especially with like BioWare, that they promise something that was going to be in the game, but then it gets cut out and things like that. So I wonder if that has to do with it. But I feel like, yeah, they need to have like some form of sit down where we can see more of the gameplay, things happening in real time, like a demo. But then again, it's like, it has to kind of be prepared, because if it's not prepared and something goes wrong in the, live demo, if something fucks up, then some people will get this idea that, oh, so this game is in this state when it releases, and so suddenly you have people preparing for this game to be bad, and so, yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. Is that a vape pen? Absolutely not. No, this is the General Harrods pen, actually. We actually bought this in London. So no, I don't vape. I don't smoke. I'm a good boy. Would love to see the Expanse team talk to you. I have a huge faith in the Expanse. Love Owlcats. Yeah, would love to talk to them for sure. Absolutely. Then again, I'm not really good at reaching out because it feels kind of needy. So I'm just like waiting around. I'm getting a bunch of like sponsorships offered to me, and various other things, and it's like, this doesn't fit the channel, this doesn't work. Or I have been asked a couple of times, or several times, by a bunch of other studios, but I'm like, this doesn't fit the channel, so I'm just, no, that's not gonna happen. And so, but yeah, I'm just waiting for the right people to reach out. You gotta go, Ling. Take care and see you next time, man. Appreciate you coming out here. Under promise, over deliver. That's usually the. Did you change? Do you change your username? Wasn't it Mr. Kittler before? Yeah, it's better to under promise and over deliver. But if you're gonna promise something, you really do gotta make sure that that is in the game. And the thing with Larian that I found so interesting about Baldur's Gate 3 is that they kept saying so many, and Sven kept saying, oh, this is going to be, you're going to be able to do this and da-da-da-da. But the funny thing is, all that came true. Like, you could actually do all these things. And that worked especially well for them, because they knew that that's what's going to happen. People were getting this idea that, oh, shit, you can basically do anything here. And that was essentially true. So, yeah. That's really what worked for them, but you got to make sure that what you show actually is there. Did you reply to my milestone comments? Didn't I, Slim? What's up? Wait, let's see here. There we go. No, I didn't. Sorry, man. I appreciate the support for 35 months. Good to see you again. Are you excited for the Fallout 3 and New Vegas remasters supposedly coming? Yes. I would say so, if they do the same thing like they did with the Elder Scrolls remaster. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. If those are actually coming. Interesting, because I didn't know that they were working on remasters. Who said that? Was that maybe Juicehead, Mr. Matty? What's the next game you're gonna cover? Crimson Desert. It's one of the games I'm gonna cover. So that one I'm looking forward to, definitely for sure. I gotta remake my Black Desert Online review though before it releases, because I feel like I should probably give that game more of a chance and try to explore it more, because I saw a couple of comments being like, "Dude, you barely explored the game," and I thought that I played a lot, but it's like, okay, but I didn't like get into the true end game. So I feel like I gotta up my game there, actually try the end game and stuff like that. But man, Black Desert Online is really good in terms of combat, but there's a lot of like, oh god, oh, this is getting so grindy and tiring, and the story kind of drops off at a point, and so you're like, oh, Vulcan, what's up, man? They're supposed to be shadow dropped at the same time. That would be really cool. That's a bit much, though. Not gonna lie. Well, I mean, maybe not. But for me as a creator, it would be a bit too much to do, because then you're gonna have to play through Fallout 3 and then New Vegas, and then I gotta first compare them to the originals. So, oh my god, it's gotta be fun, How are you feeling now? I'm feeling pretty good. Thank you for asking. I would like to play Mass Effect without using the stupid EA app. It's so broken. Yeah. The thing is, I actually just I bought. No, wait. How did I buy the Legendary Edition? I think I bought it on the EA app. Yeah, I did. I didn't buy it on Steam. So when you go through Steam, do you have to go through the EA app too? Is that the thing? BDO is super grindy. It is Korean. Yeah, absolutely. But the good thing with BDO is that the combat is so good that you're like, yeah, okay, but I can keep going for a while, Well, maybe, I don't know if I would say that. Maybe it's the wrong way to say it, that the combat overall is good. I would say that the animations and sound effects and the feeling of hitting things in Black Desert Online is pretty good. Yes. But yeah, and as much as every mob essentially just, it's like a field of wheat, you just cut them down instantly. But when you go up to the higher levels, you start noticing that there are mobs that do give you some resistance, and bosses and things like that, and suddenly that's when Black Desert Online, I feel, is the best, is when you go against difficult encounters, because that's where combat actually really gets to shine. What theories are we talking about now? No theories, not yet. Not really, because I'm still stuck on my Leviathan theory. I need to kind of finish or just make that video first, and after that I will be able to continue my sort of theory train. That's kind of how I work. I finish a theory, and then I think about it, and I rewatch my own video, and I try to like, okay, but does that make sense, and blah blah blah, and suddenly it just hits me, or we like live stream here and I talk about it and you guys have seen it, and suddenly it's like, oh my god, what about this? And then I have a new idea and we go on another theory spree. That's generally how it works. I'd love a good MMO like BDO, but I tried Where Winds Meet and I couldn't get into it. Where Winds Meet, that's an interesting game, because I've seen people like really loving that game, but I've also seen a lot of people being like, oh, this is just meh, and I'm kind of stuck in between. On one hand, I think a lot of the gameplay elements are really cool, like the combat elements, that is, but a lot of other stuff about the game is just like, what's the what? I don't know. I just kind of dropped, like, my interest just, no, I kind of dropped it after a while. It was interesting, sort of, but it's pretty janky. Honestly, it's really janky, especially like a lot of the cutscenes and animations. And so after a while, it's like, okay, my immersion is kind of broken. Now I need to take a break, so I stopped playing it. Gotcha seems to have this pattern where they pull you in with a really good launch, but further updates becomes a cash grab, and the story suffers because they've already got you hooked. Some gotcha games, and here's the thing, I do play some gotcha games because obviously when you're a gamer and you're a gamer YouTuber, you kind of get pulled into it at some point. I think Withering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero actually are the two ones that I think do a pretty good job. Of course, I never spend any money on them, but I just go for free rolls. But I think they've got a good structure. I think they've got it going pretty well. Withering Waves has had issues with performance, though. Like, it's made an Unreal Engine, right? But they've had a lot of performance issues, which is, like, really grating. Because I do think that out of all the gacha games, I think Withering Waves is pretty cool. They're also going to have a Cyberpunk collab. So that's cool. You're going to apparently be able to play both as Lucy and Rebecca. So if those are your two, favorite characters from Cyberpunk Edge Runners, there you go. They're going to be in Withering Waves, as far as I can understand it. I don't know when the collab is. I kind of want to do a video on Withering Waves just because I think it's an overall pretty alright game, all things considered. I'm glad I bought No Man's Sky. I'm chilling. I want to do all the old expeditions. Go do it. Go do it. No Man's Sky has become an incredible game, for sure. Any chance you can interview an Owlcat developer? We actually spoke about this a couple of, 10 minutes ago or something. I would love to, but I haven't had anyone reach out or anything. And I realize, I'm supposed to be the one who does that, but the thing is, like, I don't know. I kind of weird like that, I don't like, being needy. So I'm just like, if they want to, sure, let's do it. Adam Smasher is my favorite because he put an end to the gang. Adam Smasher is pretty cool, though. But he is a giant asshole. But he is pretty cool. Do you want to play a Resident Evil Requiem? Absolutely. And I will. Maybe not on stream. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how much you can push the live streams and the videos, share it with your friends as much as you can. No, but seriously, like, yeah, I'm going to play that. I'm going to definitely play that, but not sure if I'm going to stream it or something. The comeback of No Man's Sky is for the books, not going to lie. Yes, aside from Cyberpunk 2077, that is probably the game with the greatest comeback story ever in gaming. Like, just going from this train wreck of a launch, being one of the most hyped up releases ever, just train wreck, and then just shooting for the moon and just making as much content as possible, the best quality type content possible, and just making the game that it was supposed to be and even better than it was supposed to be. So Sean Murray has my respects, like he does. He's one of those, that you thought was going to be another one of, those, like, what's his name? The guy who created Fable? The guy who nobody trusts, Peter Molyneux, right? So they thought that he was going to be another Todd Howard kind of character. Todd Howard is not as bad, but, people were like, oh, he's going to be another one of those. But nope, he made No Man's Sky the dream game, essentially. You can only go up from rock bottom. Very true. Very true, Solkai. Solkai, right. Have confidence in yourself. You ask great questions, and it's good exposure for them. Thank you, Georgia girl. I do appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. But yeah, it's the Swedish side of me. Taco Cat could probably agree here. a lot of us are like this. You know, you don't want to be annoying, so you're like, nah, they're, you know, they can just say hi if they want. Uma Musume seems to be very popular nowadays. Uma Musume. Oh boy. What do you think, guys? Should we? Should we start covering horse girls? Oh boy. Uma Musume. Jesus Christ. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yes? Ah, yes, Japan. Never change. Never change. Nah, that's too gotcha for me. Like, that's not an RPG. Like, Wuthering Waves is kind of, you know, and there are a few other ones that are like kind of RPGs. But that's not. It's not an RPG, man. Looks very ooh woo. It does, doesn't it? Horse girls, let's go. Oh man. Oh man. Weird. Yeah, but Edie dies if you choose controlling. What? Oh, what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? What happened? Oh, right. Oh, Mark Chitro. So I just looked at the trilogy from the mindset of synthesis. It makes the Destroy ending the only ending worth it. The Reapers are basically parasites on the galaxy. Yeah, sort of, kind of, essentially. Kind of parasites. I would say more like just useless doomsday robots. Edie dies if you choose Destroy. Maybe. Does she? Did we ever get a confirmation on that she dies? Maybe not. Starfield. Now that's an interesting thing. I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's also been talks about Starfield. Apparently, there is, and this is on my agenda as well. This is actually on my planning board, that I'm gonna replay Starfield for you guys. But I'm gonna wait until we reportedly get this update that is called Starfield 2.0, and I have not seen any confirmation on it from Bethesda themselves. But apparently, Juicehead has seen it. I've seen lots of people talk about the Starfield event popping all of a sudden. Not really an event. What I can say is last month Bethesda Game Studios gave I and others an opportunity to see some of Starfield's future content. I can't say more yet, but I will talk about it. And I think somebody else mentioned it. So apparently there's a Starfield update coming. Gonna be really interesting to see. I'm gonna try it out. I do wonder what they're gonna update for it, you know? See if it's actually all that big of a deal, because apparently it is. Apparently it is. Welcome back. Thank you, Manga King. Appreciate it. Not with the Autumnus mod, she doesn't. Very true, Georgie. I like the Horse Girl game because it makes PETA looks... You guys never change. Never change. These comments, man, they're hilarious. Silence Suzuka flipping off PETA was being spammed by Uma Musume's fans. Oh, Jesus. Oh, so that was even a thing. That was even like a meme. That would be nice because I don't plan on playing the game, but I would watch you play it. Oh, you mean the Starfield lady in our chat? Thank you. Appreciate it. Cool. I'll be counting on you to show up. I have absolutely no hope for Starfield 2.0. This game is beyond redemption, in my opinion. I don't know, man. I mean, look at Starfield. Look at No Man's Sky. I mean, look at Cyberpunk. They pulled it off. The problem Starfield has, and which is why I understand your, Your hesitance is because Starfield's problem is that inherently, in my opinion, okay, this doesn't matter that this is true for everybody, but in my opinion, the game is boring. So like the structure itself of Starfield is boring. Can you fix it? Maybe by, redo the dialogue camera system so it's not always this stale, just looking, staring at some character. Fix a lot of the, not being able to kill certain characters to end quest lines early. Give the planets more stuff, because as more as I understand this idea of it being NASA, being very realistic, and that you land on a planet and then most of the shit you find is just rocks, but it's a video game. Like, we don't like, it's kind of like with Andromeda, right? Because there's a lot of driving and a lot of dead space and not interesting stuff at all. So just, make the game, give it more stuff. I don't know. It's very difficult to come up with ideas because it's like, I mean, just structurally the game doesn't work for me. JW Age Gaming. I'm playing a human-centric playthrough, and Eve mentions that with Reeve in control, if he tries for revenge, there would be civil war. Do we think they will make Reeve the canon choice? No. I don't think so, mainly because you kind of see Rex's armor in the Geth poster. So that's my evidence. That's what I'm going by. And because most people apparently want Rex alive, and because most people choose to calm Rex down in the confrontation on Vermeer, so I think Rex is going to be the canon choice. Didn't they tell we shouldn't expect big changes like we got with Cyberpunk, got with the 2.0 updates? I don't know. Did they say that? Maybe they did. Just can't wait for the new Mass Effects. They did tease a new one, so I'm just staying hopeful. They did tease it, and they have teased it basically every year now, but it's like, we're at the point now where a lot of people are like drained and they want like real, something to bite into, like a real true trailer again, like a gameplay trailer perhaps, stuff like that. So, that's always the thing. Fair enough. Are you going to play Exodus when it comes out? Absolutely. Absolutely I will. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I was invited to the Game Awards to talk with the Exodus teams. I mean, it would be weird if I didn't. It would be weird if I didn't play it. I will. The things I liked about Starfield was character creation options, shipbuilding mechanics was fun. Yeah, the shipbuilding mechanics were pretty fun. Yeah, I'd agree. But also the goddamn loading screens all the time. Like, there's a lot of interruptions. There's a lot of boring space in Starfield. There's just a lot of boring nothingness. But there's also a certain interruption that constantly happens whenever you get into it. And it's hard to get into it because most of the NPCs, I feel, and dialogue scenes and such are so hard to get into and invested in that when you finally do get invested into it, we have things like the loading screens that are constant and the boring empty space and the lifelessness of the universe. It's interesting how this was the game that was supposed to be the most, wow, this is, Starfield. Everybody was like really excited for this. And then it's like the most, in my opinion, lifeless game I've played, interestingly enough. Even more like lifeless than soulless. Is that a better word? Soulless than No Man's Sky was at launch. Interesting, right? And I'm not trying to trash Starfield. I'm not really trying to trash Bethesda here, but it's like, personally speaking, I felt like this game really felt like a waste of time to me. Like, I was excited for it. Like, I even made a channel where I was supposed to cover Starfield, but I mean, even modders like MXR and other like big like Fallout and Elder Scrolls people, they were like, and a modder that was like a huge modder that was gonna make a big mod, but he was like, this game is trash. I'm just not gonna do it. It's like, that's hilarious that people that were supposed to be doing these huge things, they just gave up because they couldn't do it. Like, they couldn't stand playing through it. It's like, oh, that's how bad it is, or how bad it was. We'll see. Maybe it'll be the greatest comeback story ever. We don't know. Do you think the club teaser is in Andromeda on an established human colony where Angara looking down on, or in the Milky Way? I think it's in the Milky Way. I have my reasons, but I think it's definitely in the Milky Way. It's not in Andromeda. Starfield feels outdated no matter how you try to get into the world. Yeah, I would say so. Also, here's a big one why I haven't done a Is It Worth It? Last year, I was going to do like a retrospective thing and just go back to it, play it. The thing is, last time I installed Starfield and I tried to play it, my entire PC fucking crashed. And I'm not trying to say that to be an ass or sabotage. It just literally happened. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of on the edge now about installing Starfield because for some reason, my entire PC, that's, PC I spent a whole deal of money on, I don't want to risk it breaking again because I literally got a blue screen. And I was like, oh, I haven't had a blue screen since, well, ever. So it's like, no, I'm not going to, no. So I'm a little scared, actually, of starting up Starfield. I kind of don't want to do it. Your PC was like, no, not this again. True. I don't know. Maybe I had a bunch of other programs in the background. Maybe it was that I had Premiere, or maybe it was OBS that I was using to record it. Maybe it was something like that, but I literally crashed. And it might not have anything to do with Starfield. But the last time I started it, the last time I had it up, it crashed my entire PC. So I'm just not feeling like I want to do it again. Starfield is the first fake game. Well, I see where you're coming from, but I don't think it's a fake game. I just think it's a game that... I think it's one of those games where Bethesda could have used so much more internal feedback. Because it's impossible for playtesters to have played this game and been like, yeah, this is amazing, keep going, I think it's impossible. Like, I wonder if it was just that Bethesda was too high on their own success. And so they just went with, oh, this is going to work. This is going to work. This is going to work. This is magic. This works. Oh, this is so nice. This flows so well. Oh, this is so fun. And I wonder if that was the problem with this entire thing, is that they didn't get enough, early impressions from people, or either playtesters weren't entirely honest. Or maybe they didn't even have playtesters at all. So, I mean, something was wrong. They should have realized that the structure of the game just doesn't really work. And then they released it. Do you think they will abandon the Jardan and Ket storylines in Andromeda? Maybe not abandon it. Maybe not. but I don't think it's gonna be as big of a plot line as I thought it was. Um, there is a couple of reasons for that. I will probably go into that when I do make that next theory video. Your computer committed Sudoku. Yes. Sudoku. Assuming you like Resident Evil, what do you like more, survival horror or action horror? Survival horror. Survival horror every day of the week. Because the point with horror games, I feel, is that you're supposed to feel kind of helpless. You're supposed to feel like you're not in control. And that's why I love the Resident Evil 2 remake so much, because it felt like, you know, it really felt like the old versions of Resident Evil, the old version of Resident Evil 2, because that was the first Resident Evil game I played. You know, I begged my mom to play to buy it to me, and she got it to me, and I was so scared of playing it when I finally got it that I couldn't play it. I had to like have my brother and my dad play it for me because I couldn't even touch the controller. I was so scared of the zombies. I was like hiding behind the couch. And so I had that flashback moment in Resident Evil 2. And that's how I see horror nowadays, is that when I play a game, it has to be survival horror, because if it's too much action and you can just, you know, fucking murder big monsters and, you know, crush zombies easily, it kind of goes against the point of what I feel as horror games should be. But it kind of depends, you know, because then we have Dying Light, which has zombies, and that's fucking scary. But they have that element of when it turns to night, those super zombies or whatever they're called show up and start chasing you. And then suddenly you lose all control. So they still have that element of being an action horror game, but there's still a survival horror game, really, when things, like when shit hits the fan. That's what I really like about like Dying Light, for example, because they still have that element. I like Leon, but at this point he's too OP. Yeah, I feel ya. I love Leon too, but he's he's just with his goddamn spin kicks everywhere. I would have preferred if they just went with what's her name? The girl that you're supposed to play in this game. Like, I would prefer it if the game was just about her, like her story. I would have preferred that, honestly, because again, I like Leon, but it's like, okay, I don't want the action part. I just, you know, give me good survival horror any day. Let's go. Grace, thank you, New. Yeah, Grace. But I'm gonna play the shit out of it, of course. Maybe I'll love the Leon sections. Maybe I will. That's why RE6 was met too much action. Yeah, there's been a couple of Resident Evils where that has been the problem, right? There's not enough survival horror. There's not enough loss of control, like, you know, feeling like, oh shit, I spent my last bullet and there's no more loot. I'm fucked, you know? I like those moments. I don't like them in the moment, but I like the moment when I think back to it. It's like, that's why I was so scared, because I had lost control. I had no more ammo, so I could no longer shoot the zombies and I could defeat the boss. You know, I was fucked. I like that. Are you gonna play the girls campaign in the first or third person? Probably third person, because that's how I play Resident Evil games normally. That's why I haven't played Resident Evil 7 and 8, even if they are supposedly good survival horrors. The reason I haven't played them is because they're in first person, because I identify my Resident Evil experience with third person, essentially. Based. Oh yeah. Did you try Chronos New Dawn? Said it was like Dead Space, but personally not a fan so far. It is similar, but it's not Dead Space, no. It was pretty cool. I like that Lae'zel, from Baldur's Gate, the voice actress for Lae'zel plays the main character, but I think they got the elements right. You run out of ammo and things like that, and a lot of the encounters are difficult. But I think it's just I was kind of because I played the game to the end. I finished it, but I think I was just kind of disappointed by the story and the final twist of the story, which I thought was, okay, I get it, but it's like, oh, that wasn't very interesting. Because, but maybe it's because they laid the groundworks for a universe where they can make more of these games, which I would like to see, because there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I think I was just unhappy because I was like, but wait a moment, what about this? What about this? What about this? I want answers. And you didn't really get any. There's just a lot of questions and then even more questions. And so I was like, oh, okay, I feel kind of, I wasn't super happy with it, but I thought it was pretty good gameplay-wise. Have you played Silent Hill F? I've watched Markiplier's playthrough of it. Me and my girlfriend, we actually started a playthrough of it that I started uploading to the Patreon channel, but we couldn't get the time to do it because I was recording and talking about other games, and so it kind of fell off. So we watched Markiplier's playthrough, but he stopped playing it at some point, so he hasn't continued, which is kind of sad. I love the image of a young Hulton behind a couch, probably hiding his face in dog fur. We didn't have a dog by then, did we? I don't remember. We had a couple of dogs, but I don't remember if she was alive at that point. But I do remember hiding behind the couch. My mom was a little bit mad at me. She was like, oh my God, now I got you this game and now you're hiding. Yeah, I have no investment in the main character at all. Like, I'm playing a very dull character with no motive other than following the objective. Yeah, in Chronos New Dawn, yes, that is pretty much it, because the character isn't terribly interesting, but they could have been, and you do find out more about them towards the end, but it's like, oh, okay, interesting, but what about this then? Because there's a lot of other unanswered questions where I was like, yeah, okay, it was kind of a, okay, this is becoming something really cool, kind of nosediving at the end. Wait, you forgot your dog? No, I didn't forget my dog. It's just when when my mom bought me Resident Evil 2, I did not forget my dog. We had one, we had two, how do you call them? Riesen schnauzers. So big schnauzers, essentially. Big, black dogs. The girl or female was called Flisan, and the other was Eclipse. So we had two. And I don't remember if they were alive. I think Eclipse was alive at that point. My dad is a big hippie, so that's why he's called Eclipse, because he listens to a lot of metal and rock songs and stuff like that. So you're Eclipse, that's an interesting name for a dog. It was pretty cool though. It was a pretty cool dog. But yeah, I don't remember if either he was born yet or if he had passed away at that point. I think I was like 6, 7. I don't remember. Did you see the trailer and teaser of Mortuary Assistant? I did not. No. Aldis, welcome, man. How you doing? Like your dad already? Yeah. He's pretty metal. Hippie parents. That's me, all right. Lovely people, generally speaking. Jill and Chris Redfield. Well, I would like to see... what's her... Why do we keep forgetting her name? Claire. I want Claire in another game. I would like them to remake Code Veronica. That would be cool. I really liked Code Veronica when I played that through. That was at a point, I think I was a teenager when I actually dared playing the Resident Evil games. Yeah, I remember I liked it a lot. Other than RE9, Exodus, and the Expanse game, are there any others I should watch out for? You mean games right now? Well, I'm very interested in Crimson Desert, honestly. I know people have been like, oh, this kind of looks, but first of all, I think the combat is going to be awesome because, again, like I've mentioned, Black Desert Online has pretty awesome combat. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And the more I see of it, the more I am actually getting sold on it. I wasn't sold on it before, but I'm getting the feeling that this could possibly be a really good one. Because I know that, as far as I've heard, after my research into this game and into Pearl Abyss, the studio behind it, they have pretty much known that they needed to step up the story and make it really interesting, like to make you hooked. Because my biggest problem so far with Crimson Desert has been that you can do all of these things, right? You can do so many things. You can ride mechs, you can ride dragons, you can, like, the world is sort of like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, right? And so you have so many things, so much shit you can do. The world is even bigger than Red Dead Redemption 2's map. It's like, oh, this is gonna be huge. But generally, I've always felt like, okay, but where's the cohesion, right? How does this all connect? Will it make sense? This is a fantasy medieval RPG kind of world, or like a medieval world, but there's mechs and magic and da 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 da. So it gets, okay, they're mixing a lot of ideas, but will it work, or will it feel like they're overcooking it? Would it feel like they're doing too much? Is it going to feel like a, like people have said, is it going to be like an ocean-wide, puddle-deep kind of experience? But the more I'm researching it, the more I'm starting to believe that it's probably going to be deeper than we think, Hopefully, this will be a real banger, because, I mean, if they can pull this off, yeah, I wouldn't be a doubter anymore. Yeah, Pearl Abyss is not known for story. Exactly. Yeah, I hope they got good writers as well. Absolutely. It's so... But they know this. Apparently, it seems like they know this. Because there are some gold nuggets in Black Desert Online. Like, some of the dialogue can be excellently funny at certain parts. Especially early on. I don't know if they still have those writers, but especially early on, there's a girl you meet in Black Desert Online that's a quest giver, essentially, that you help out. She's this young blonde woman who is like all ditzy and out there, and they have these jokes that actually made me chuckle a couple of times at least, where it's like, I think it's a quest where you're investigating ghosts, and it's in this ruin, but it's like a goblin that's causing all this ruckus or something. And this goblin takes off, and this girl, she goes like, I can't believe I've never been ghosted before. And I just broke, because I was like, oh, that's so stupid, but it's so hilarious. That was such a, I don't know why. I just thought that was such a good joke. It was so dumb, but funny. So things, I think they could probably have something really cool here. I hope they have that kind of humor, because that really worked for whenever Black Desert Online has gotten like really like, oh, this is getting tiring or boring. They have these moments where it's like, oh, okay, that was, for some reason, that made me just happy. I want to try BDO, but some of my family that played it says it eventually turns into a pay-to-win, especially if you want to engage in PvP. Yeah, I haven't gotten to the PvP part yet, but there's a lot of, effort put into trying to make you go into the microtransaction thing, going into the in-game store and buying stuff. But I've also been told that there's a lot of like free stuff, like a free outfits and things that they give away. So apparently they're pretty generous, but I have to give the game more of a chance and go deeper into it to give more of a fully realized review after my, BDO video. Black Desert Online is BDO. So those are the ones that are making Crimson Desert here. Rumor is Code Veronica remake will be announced this year. I hope you're right, New. I hope you're right, because Claire Redfield, believe it or not, Liara was not my first video game crush. She was my first RPG crush. Claire Redfield was my first crush. Absolutely. Absolutely she was. For sure. Maybe Zelda. No, it was between Zelda and Ocarina of Time and Claire Redfield. But I think Claire, yeah. So I hope they do make a Code Veronica game, because Claire, love her. As long as it has a good story, that's all I need. Yeah, that is what I'm hoping for with Crimson Desert as well. Like, give me a good story with this, together with the, apparently amazing combat and the boss encounters and all that. I think we might have a good one here. I think we might have a good one. I would probably stream this game if you guys would watch it. I think a lot of meaning is lost between Korean and English. Yes, that tends to be a thing. I think the problem in BDO is probably not as bad as something like with Stellar Blade, and God, I love that game, but there was a lot of bad localization in Stellar Blade, which, a lot of translations and lines just did not work because it just doesn't make sense sometimes when Eve is talking to a certain person and they're saying something weird back to her, and it's like, what, did I miss something? So yeah, a lot of stuff lost in translation, so to speak. But hopefully, this is different. Crimson Desert. Really hope it is, because it looks cool. Have you ever played a game called Shadow Hearts? It's one of my favorite games. No, Shadow Hearts. I have heard of Shadow Heart, though. Shadow Hearts. I have not tried that, no. Ah, it's a JRPG, right? That seems to be the case. Yeah, it is, apparently. Maybe I've tried a demo. I don't remember. It's been some time since I played these types of games. Anyway, guys, I gotta take off for now. I just wanted to check in with you and chat for a bit with you folks. I'm gonna be back sometime this week because the Xbox Live Showcase is later. I think it's on Thursday. So Thursday, 7 p.m., about half an hour from now. So 7 p.m., that's in half an hour on Thursday. I'm gonna be streaming the Xbox Showcase. So I'll see you guys there. And thank you for checking in, and thank you for the support. Also, don't forget to become a Patreon member over on Mr. Holton on Patreon if you want some extra content and just support the channel. Thank you so much. All right, guys.